because you can see plenty. So this week we're introducing what is our new push-up variation. Completely forgot. Lateral plank push-ups. So what that means is we're going to do a push-up, we're going to do a little side step in our plank and do another push-up, come back, bam, and we're basically going to do 20 like that. So it's going to be left 10, right 10. Okay, I'm just going to do it back and forth, so I'm not like walking all over the room or anything crazy like that. And we're basically going to start straight away because I'm late, as usual. I'm going to just whack this on workout so we track it, because that adds to my calories. So we're going to just do our net quickly, left to right, and forwards and backwards. That's it, and roll your shoulders. And then we're going to go forwards. So, normal setup for this push-up try not to bash my hands on everything. Normal setup for this push-up challenge. So we're doing 5 sets of 20 reps. So first set of these lateral plank push-ups. Then we have, what did we do last week? Plyometric. Oh my God, that's going to be tough. Then we got knee to chest. Then we got deep push-ups. And then our last week doing fist push-ups, which I'm quite looking forward to getting rid of, to be honest with you, because then it means we've only got one more week with with the deep push-ups in. I'm desperate to get rid of them. They mess me up so much. Okay, so make sure we stretch out a little bit. Make sure you're ready for the workout. Got some pretty fun news today, but I'm going to get that in after we do these. All right. So I've got my yoga mat. That's for the things. Makes so much mess when I do these things. So we've got lateral plank push-ups first. So we're going to do a push-up. Then we're going to step in like that. We're going to do another push-up, bam. Then we're going to step in like that. Okay? So when we do our steps, what we're going to do is we basically want to bring our outside leg and our inside hand. Yeah, so we step like this, and then we step like this. Okay? And then we come back the same way. And we do that, right, so that we don't bump our hands together and so that we don't bump our legs together. Because if we're here and we step both inside like that, we're going to off-balance ourselves. And if we go straight like this and back in, then we're likely going to start missing where our hand placement goes. We're going to mess up where our legs go. And so I found that the easiest way to do this is complicated because it's opposite, but this is how you walk anyway. So it shouldn't be too difficult to figure it out once you get the hang of moving. Okay, so we got 20 of these to start off with. And I guess we should probably just go. I'm going to start this side and I'm going to set this way, all right? So 3, 2, 1, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Finish back where we started, pop yourself down. Right guys, so that is our first set done. So they're lateral plank push-ups, which lateral is basically sideways, and a plank we all know, so that's where it gets its name. I am such a mess today. I've got a monster to get me through this. Delicious. And yeah, so the reason I'm such a mess, I feel like I'm a mess every week when I do these, by the way, guys. I'm going to blame it on Monday morning because we tend to do loads of stuff on the weekend and then we end up a bit screwed for it. So today, I'm tired because yesterday I did a Vo2 Max Test. And that was it. Only a casual Vo2 Max Test. But I did it, I don't know. I did it almost fasted. Not quite. We did have we had a little snack. We had, you know, a cinnamon social for Ollenstein. So we had one of them, basically me and Danny, as like a mid-morning / lunchtime snack before we went to go and do the test. So I was in a bit of a low energy state anyway, smashed that out. And obviously anyone who's done a Vo2 Max test before knows exactly what you're getting yourself into. I managed to do quite well. I managed to score, I think it was a 56.5 or something like that, which is like really, really good, apparently. So I was really pleased with that. but it does take its toll on the body, and yeah, so here we are. Yeah, but I also did, at the same time, I did a Dexa scan, and what a Dexa scan is basically an accurate body fat, muscle, and bone density kind of measurement. So imagine like an MRI. It's similar to an MRI, and basically lie on a table and it goes, scans you a bunch of times, and it can tell you which limb has different amounts of muscle. So like your right arm might be half a kilo heavier than your left arm, you might have a little bit more lean mass there. It can distinguish which areas of your body hold fat and which are leaner, and it can obviously compare results because they're recorded over time and see how you're improving or maybe negative improving if that's the case. So in my last Dexa scan, my first Dexa scan I had was about this time last year, and I was like 9% body fat. This year, this time, literally yesterday when I did it, I was 16% body fat. But in that time, I've had a hernia, I've had an operation, and I've really struggled to get back into training since. I also gained a lot of weight when I wasn't training because of my hernia. During lockdown, I had an injury as well in my forearm. So it's been quite a difficult year to actually stay lean or get strong. So that's okay. You know, 16%, it has increased, obviously. It's increased almost double, or more than double now. Well, no, almost double. But now, because I have accurate measures and because I actually know where I stand, I can actually measure my improvement over time accurately, like 100% accurately, which is a really good thing to be able to do. Quantifying your measurements and your stats is a great way of actually testing the training that you're doing over time. And my last one was after our first lockdown. I was 15.7% body fat, and now I was 16.2. So I've increased my body fat percentage by 0.5%, but I've lost lean body mass as well. So gaining weight isn't necessarily right. Like I've actually feel like I've got a little bit leaner, but because I've lost a lot of muscle in that time, then that's meant that it comes up as me having a higher fat percentage. When in fact I've probably lost a little bit, but I've actually lost more muscle. And that's just because I couldn't train. I was recovering from an operation literally across my belly button. So I basically couldn't do anything for a very long time. Yeah, so, you know, good and bad. The Vo2 Max thing went amazing. I found from doing the 100 push-up challenge, I've actually increased my chest measurement by 2.5 centimeters. So at least that's working for me, you know, look on the bright side. And yeah, that's about it really. That's kind of why I'm a bit tired today. Yeah, I'm also getting my hair cut later and I cannot wait. It is a mess. Like, I shaved especially. I don't know if you noticed that from last week, but then a little shave. And now, now it looks even worse. At least when I had a little bit of hair down here, it kind of balanced itself out a little bit. Right, so anyway, enough rambling. Set 2 of the 100 push-up challenge is plyometric push-ups. Bit of caffeine. So with the plyometric push-ups, we are just pushing up off the ground. So we're not clapping or anything, we're just pushing up high enough to get our hands off the ground. All right, so 20 of these. Hopefully, don't hurt yourself, guys, when you do these. Okay, and we're gonna move the yoga mat out of the way so we don't trip over that. And we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. I actually got through that all right, I think. I thought that was going to be worse than it was. Right, so set 2 done. Okay, so next we have knee to chest push-ups. This isn't a particularly difficult exercise. The problem with this is that it's just lots of core work, so it just fatigues your core so much. And because you're moving through the plank position, you're not just staying in a plank. When you bring your knees in, you kind of lean forwards a little bit. And your weight shift, it means you put your shoulders under a lot of stress as well, so it just burns up your shoulders a little bit too. Not as bad as T push-ups. Just wait until we've got to do them for 20. I remember from previous times I've done this challenge, T push-ups are horrible. But yeah, so T push-ups are coming in a couple of weeks, I think. And trust me, you'll understand what I mean when that happens. Whew. Plyos are good though. Plyos are very good. Right, so next, knee to chest push-ups. I'm not going to ramble as much as I did last time. I'm just going to stretch out, chest my shoulders a little bit. You guys can give this a little go as well. This is a really good stretch to do. Bit of that. Right, so knee to chest, deep push-ups, and then fist push-ups to finish, right? So we've got 60 more push-ups to do. We've done 40, we're almost halfway there. And I feel like we should really just crack straight on with it. Just gonna give my little triceps another little go. Pretty soon, guys, I'm gonna be pulling out the Theragun to get through these. I'm just smashing out my triceps quickly while getting fat. No, it's not here. Okay, but just bear with me because that will happen. Theragun soon. Right, so knee to chest push-ups, all right, guys? And we'll go in 3, 2, 1, down we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. Great. Right, so that is 60 push-ups done, which means we have 40 more left, 2 more sets. And now I'm feeling it. Oh, cool. So, do my neck a little bit. So when we did our Vo2 Max test, I did it on a bike, just like an exercise bike. And you have this thing masked, like this thing right over your face, like a big tube coming out of it, obviously measuring your breathing. And actually like trying to ride a bike just with like all that pressure around your face is really difficult. And because you're just pulling air through the top, it's like a little switcher, like in and out valve. Pulling air in through the top was okay when you're kind of not breathing too heavy, but as soon as you start like breathing really heavy, it's almost hard. It's like pulling through a straw, even though it's like a good inch diameter or something. It's still, there's a little bit of resistance compared to just breathing straight through your mouth. So it makes it like extra hard to pull the air in and actually breathe. And then breathing out is exactly the same process. But again, because it's coming through like a little valve, like an inch tube, it puts pressure, like as soon as you're breathing heavy, it puts pressure here. And so it feels like it's gonna pop the mask off. It was, yeah, it was a really, really crazy experience. And afterwards, my legs were like rock, just because they had so much blood in them. It was insane, a solid, crazy experience. I would recommend doing it just to kind of find out how well your aerobic capacity performs when you're under any stress. But the thing that the most insightful thing for me when I did all these tests was I did a basal metabolic rate or a resting metabolic rate test, where I literally sat in a chair. This is the opposite of a Vo2 Max. Sat in a chair, feet up on the thing, different, like a tube just in your mouth and like a little nose clamp on like that. And for about 10 minutes, I was just breathing through the tube. Similar situation where you're like pulling through one valve and pushing out another. Not the most, it's not the most comfortable experience, but I mean, it's not that it's uncomfortable, it's just that it's not as easy as just breathing normally. And what it does is it just measures your kind of heart rate over time and the conversion of oxygen from air you take in to out. And it gives it like, I think the guy who runs the practice, My Vital Metrics, by the way, guys, link below, my vital metrics, Owen, he was explaining it, and he could explain it very well. And it's basically like there's a calorific value designated to how many units of oxygen are removed from the air when you're breathing. So what I found was my resting metabolic rate is 2,379 calories, which is basically how many calories I burn just being alive. That's not doing any exercise or anything, or like metabolizing food or anything like that. And so to be able to lose any amount of fat, as long as I'm kind of doing more than that, if I'm eating, I can basically, what it means, all right, guys, I'm just going to put it super simple, is I can basically eat almost whatever I like, and as long as I'm doing some kind of exercise, I'm pretty good. But anything that comes past me just burns. Like it explains why I'm such like a radiator that I can just sit around and be hot because my body just runs all the time. And it's great for, it's a good metric to know because that's my resting metabolic rate. So any exercise I do is on top of that many calories that I would burn in a day. So it's really good for like working out how much I actually need to eat to be able to gain weight and lose weight. And for losing weight, it's great because I'm burning lots of calories. So as long as I can go under there, if I add a workout on top of that as well, like I'm going to be burning excess calories like on my body very, very quickly. For gaining weight, it kind of sucks for the exact same reason that as soon as I do any exercise, like I'm burning 2,500 calories easy in a day, and that's just like walking to the shop. I'll burn that so once in a day. So I need to eat like 3.5, even 4,000 calories really to start putting on some serious weight. 4,000 calories might be, it depends on how much I'm training and how much activity I'm doing in a day. But at the minute, I'm doing basically nothing except these and like the Gymshark live streams and a couple of little workouts or whatever. I still need to be eating like 3,000 calories just to have a sniff and like just to stay the same weight. It's like my maintenance level is 3,000 calories, which is an insane amount of food when most people assume that they need to be eating like 1,600 to lose weight or else they'll never lose weight. But having this kind of resting metabolic rate number really puts in perspective where you are along the spectrum of the amount of calories you burn being sedentary and doing little to nothing, so that you can accurately measure how much you need to ramp up your food or how to cut down your food to be able to reach your goals, whether they're gaining weight or losing weight. And so, yeah, 2,379 calories is a lot to have as a resting metabolic rate. And it basically means that I'm literally a Duracell bunny, which is kind of funny and nice to know. It just means I've got to like eat all the time. Otherwise, I'm not going to gain any muscle, basically. Right, so enough rambling. We've got set 4, which are deep push-ups. So deep push-ups, I've got my mate's kettlebells. So with the deep push-ups, you need like a parallettes or you need some kettlebells. Or I was using dumbbells previously, but the problem with the dumbbells is they kept rolling out of the way, especially when I was using the mat as well. So I was fighting just holding them in all the time, and it made it really difficult. You can use like some chairs. You have to prop your feet up as well on the chair, so you need 3 chairs to be able to do that effectively, but you can do something like that if you need to compromise, or just like stack up a bunch of books. We've got 20 of these to go, so let's get on with it. Do this. So 20 reps in 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Guys, you know what? I'm not really worried so much about these deep push-ups anymore. I'm kind of enjoying them, which is like typical as you come to the end of doing them for any amount of time. You kind of like, it's like when you're about to leave a job, and you have that kind of like that little period of time, like you know you're leaving, and so all the stuff that stresses you out kind of, you just see the funny side of it and like the amusing side. That always messes with your head, that does. Don't fall for that. It's like the opposite of a honeymoon period. It's like a breakup honeymoon period kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm having that with deep push-ups at the minute. When they were the first set, it was hell because of the extended range of motion, you really stretch your chest out, so you get really good muscle activation in your chest. It like pulls and stretches your front delts as well for the exact same reason. And now, 4 weeks later, my arms have kind of got used to it, my chest has got used to it, my shoulders are used to it, and now it doesn't really affect me so much. But that first time I had to do them, blimey, I almost failed on the first set. Oh. Okay, so last set now. So we've done 80 push-ups. We've got one more set of 20 to go, and we're doing fist push-ups. So for that, if you've got a hard floor like I have, I recommend getting a yoga mat or like anything just to kind of protect your knuckles a bit. There's nothing wrong with doing them on a hard surface, and there's something to be said for actually doing that. But just for the sheer volume, like 20 reps is a lot, and you've got a lot of pressure just going through your knuckles all the time. If you were like a boxer or like a fighter of some kind, probably recommend that you do it this way at least sometime, even if you just like tape your knuckles a little bit, because that has a really good effect on just building super strong knuckles. But if this is your first time doing something like this, then definitely don't do that, okay? Because you will feel it, and you might get through the first 5 or even 10 reps, but once you start approaching that kind of endurance, kind of 20 rep range, it is going to kill you. And you're going to have horrible, horrible knuckle bruises, like I did when I was preparing for these like a month ago or so. I think just before we introduced them, and it really did me in. It just kind of humbled me a little bit with it, because I was like, yeah, it's just fist push-ups, it's gonna be fine, blah blah blah. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, you know what, I do need a yoga mat or something. So yeah, definitely get something. You've got a couple of minutes while I catch my breath, or I just continue rambling for a little bit. So grab them if you need it. Let's stretch this out a little. Whew. Okay, so we got 20 of these, and then that's it. That's literally it, guys. Last set. I think we've had enough rest already, really, haven't we? So I feel like we should just get straight on it. It's only 20, guys. So when you do these, what you might get, if you haven't cut your nails recently, you might, or even if you have, you might just get little nail marks in your palm. Don't worry about them so much. Just try and make sure when you got your fists, they're quite comfortable, because it can be a bit discomforting. But in reality, it's only 20 reps. You don't need to worry about it so much, but worry about just smashing out the reps. Okay, so 20 of these, and we'll go in 3, 2, 1. Down we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 2 more, 19, 20. Whew. Struggled on those last 2. You know what was really distracting, guys? This was punching me in the face every time I went down there. That's kind of a bit of a nuisance. So just to show you what I mean by those knuckle marks, I don't know if you can see that very well, but just like by there. Can you see them okay? So that's what I mean, and my nails aren't long at all, but I always get those marks, so that's why I was pre-warning you about it. Guys, that's it. That's it for the 100 push-up challenge, week 9. Same time next week for week 10, and I don't know what we're introducing. I promise you it's going to be tough. We're saying goodbye to those fist push-ups. This is the last week we're doing them, and I'm actually just going to double check quickly. What we have is, so we've done fist push-ups, we've done deep push-ups, knee to chest, plyo, lateral plank. Oh, speak of the devil. So we got, next week we're introducing T push-ups. I'm just going to give you a quick taster of what T push-ups are. So for a T push-up, I'm going to have to sort the camera out. We're going to go down in a push-up, come up. I'm going to rotate to one side into like a side plank, and do a side crunch like this. We want to get our hips as high as we can, and then back down, and then the other side, straight up like that. Okay, so that's going to be 10 each side. So what I would do if I were you guys is I'd probably give that a little dry run this week and just test out a couple of reps, like maybe practice doing sets of 10. Join us for the Gymshark live stream on Wednesday on Gymshark's Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/Gymshark, and we'll include them in the workout to get everyone there prepared for it. All right, guys, thanks for joining. As always, give us a like, subscribe, leave any questions or comments you got in the boxes, various boxes on various channels, and I'll catch up with you in the next one. Keep in touch with us. Let's end that. Bam. And